Hi, welcome to another episode of Nigerians to the World. And today we are in the United Kingdom to speak with a Nigerian who is living there. Hi, Ayeni, how are you doing today?
Hello, I am fine, thanks. Yeah, thanks for
Okay,
having me. Yeah.
yeah, thank you, and for also obliging to be on the show. This is a show where we talk about what it is like being a Nigerian living in United Kingdom. And I'm your host, Kcee Udonsi. So, Mr. Adesanya, which part of Nigeria are you from?
I'm from Osun State in the southwest in Nigeria. Yeah, so that's where I'm from. So Osun used to be part of Oyo State, so it was carved out of Oyo State. So yeah.
Okay, so interesting also, I've been to Osun State. I lived in
Okay.
Osogbo for some time.
Sure.
So,
Okay, so that's the capital.
yes, before I relocated back to the east here, State. Okay,
Mm.
so let's do a little bit backstory. Okay, so which schools did you attend while you were in Nigeria?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I don't tend to really talk about my elementary or primary school because I attended about 3 or 4 different elementary primary school. So, but my high school, so it was Olivet High School, so which was in still in Oyo State, in the ancient town of Oyo. And so it was kind of like a missionary school, a Baptist missionary school. So it was really, nice there. And also I had my university education in the north, so in Bauchi State, so which was really fun as well. So that gave me opportunity to be able to see the diversity of Nigeria. So yeah.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. You had a whole lot of experience, during your school
Mm,
days, coupled
yeah.
with, schooling in the northern part of Nigeria.
Mhm.
That's really one Nigeria. So,
Yeah.
okay, now let's talk about your story as well. How you migrated to the United Kingdom. Tell us how it happened.
Yeah, so it's just typical Nigerian story. Like, I graduated from uni. I had my NYC in Niger State, and and then it was to look for job. And I mean, knowing what I know now, I possibly would have done something different. I would have done things differently compared to what I know now. So because if I had to wind the clock back, I would possibly become an entrepreneur and look for a problem around me that can solve, and then money can then come as a result of solving a problem.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, then I didn't really have a clue. It was just like looking for a job. I couldn't find any job, and then my sister, who was already in the UK, then suggested to me maybe I could just find some university where I can apply to and come to the UK to come and do my master's degree. So, and I literally just sitting one day looking at one of my cousins who was an architect, looking at one of the magazine that he had, and then I saw something geographical information system, so which is basically has to do with maps. And so that really was part of something that could be used in majority of fields, and it could be used as well in land management, which I studied estate management for my first degree. So, and then I applied to some UK university. I got so it was basically my master's degree that brought me to the UK.
So how long have you lived in the UK?
So I came into the UK in 2005. So that's about, I think, something around 15, 16, or maybe 17 years or 16 years. Yeah, thereabout. Yeah.
Okay, that's so interesting. Okay, now you've lived, in the UK for 16 years, and just from what you said, okay, that education took you there. So, what do you now love about the UK? What do you love about the UK?
UK for me is kind of like an interesting place. I mean, there's no place that is perfect. So anywhere in the world, it doesn't matter where it is, no place is perfect. So there will be a few issues here and there. But generally, I just love UK because of the kind of like the structure. So UK is a place whereby, or maybe it can be said about majority of the European countries or the Western country where, things are just structured in a way that things are working. So for example, if I'm going from one part of the country to another part, say from Southampton, I'm going to Newcastle, I'm not really going to see any surprises. So basically things are just like similar. So you're going to maybe look for McDonald's, something, you can find McDonald's there. You want to look for Honda auto car park, or where to garage, you can find the same there. So yeah, so it's kind of like structure. I like that structure and consistency in the way they do things. And also I like the fact that there are a lot of opportunity as well in terms of like, you can almost like become whatever you want to become. It's not really always going to be that easy because of the factor of the skin color, but it's not that bad compared to a lot of other places whereby we have Nigerians who are a parliament member, like equivalent of a senator in Nigeria that are in the UK. Wow. We have Nigerians who are doing exciting things and magnificent things in various fields. So which, I just like that fact that there is that opportunity and the structure of the way things are done. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Now, as a Nigerian, an African, okay, what were the biggest adjustments you made when you first moved there?
I think some of the adjustments, yeah. So for example, like accent. So you can hear me speaking. I mean, well, some people say that, oh, are you a Gambian or are you a Sierra Leonean or something like that, or are you a Ugandan? But basically, when you hear me speaking, I am Africa. From Africa. I'm not born. I wasn't born in the UK with my accent. So like, coming to the UK, and it's one of those things that you have to make a little bit of adjustment. And when you say, for example, you then go back home, when you are, because you've lived here for a certain number of years, you are already used to that way of talking. People might be thinking that, oh, are you trying to be posh, or are you trying to manipulate are you trying to sound fake? Which some people even say that to me on my YouTube channel, but it's not. It's just because you live in a place whereby you have to say something multiple times before they can understand what you are saying, and then you are forced to make a little bit of adjustment just to save yourself from people asking you, oh, pardon, oh, can you say that again? Yeah, so I think that's one of the big adjustment. And then I live outside London. I don't live inside London where it's more cosmopolitan. So I live outside London where majority are white. So, and yeah, so that's adjustment. And also some food as well. So things are different now. So when I first arrived, living outside London, there weren't really opportunity to buy a lot of African foods, and then how to like eat a lot of yeah, there are a few adjustments. And then obviously weather as well, so which is a big thing as well. So cold, yeah, so acclimatize. Yeah.
Wow. Now, okay, I know you talked about having a family member living in the UK before you moved there. Okay, so like what was it like, and like when you first moved there, okay, what was it like? I know you have friends now, okay, but how were you able to relate and keep up with the life of the UK?
Oh, okay. I guess you're talking about kind of like an integration. So which is something that I would always recommend to people as well, to integrate into the society. So because you're living here now, so you won't just like only just relating to people that are from your country or only people that are Black. So you have to kind of like integrate with the society. So I think one of those ways, which is for me as a Christian, so I kind of like where I started attending a Black church for a while. So, but at the time I was attending the white church, predominantly white church. So that is a way as well to, and then also to well, then because I had my sister that was already here, so that helped me to settle quickly compared to somebody that just arrived with no that they don't have any family members. So which I'm grateful for that, for my sister's help. So yeah, so there are a variety of ways to adjust and to integrate. There's something they call pub in the UK. So pub isn't really, it's almost equivalent to what we call beer parlor in Nigeria. So looking at it from perspective of faith, it's almost like, oh, that's not really a good place to be, but it's not really that bad. Like you can be maybe in a pub, maybe there's a football match going on to watch it on the telly. From there, you can get to know people, and then I think mainly from in terms of pub, that is, it can be here and there. In terms of people, we had say different things depending on who you ask. But I think another major way as well is when you're at work, not to just only stay on your own, to relate with people that are there. And so, I mean, white, Indian, or, because UK, you have people from different nationalities. So yeah, so that is really a good way to know, not to tell people all the story of your life, but to just, understand what I mean, to get to relate with other people, and then with that, so that can really help to integrate.
Now, okay, I know there are a lot of Nigerians, okay, or Africans in the UK.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the responses you get when people ask you which country you are from, and then you tell them that you're Nigerian?
Oh, yeah, that's a very interesting question. Well, Nigerians are known because of our population. It's kind of, I think there's a stat that 1 out of every 7 or 1 out of 5. I don't know whether I'll get that right, but it's one of those. Is that 1 out of 5, 1 out of 7 Black person you see anywhere in the world is a Nigerian. So which makes us to be a lot of people, and then which makes us to be popular as well. And we're popular on both sides, bad and good and bad. So, and it's not really a problem because, I mean, good and bad, that's what life is made of anyway. So, and yeah, so because of that, when you say when people ask you and you say you're a Nigerian, so you can get mixed reactions. Some will like, oh, they're really very happy to just meet you. And I remember I changed job recently, and one of my colleagues kind of like meeting them, and I said I'm a Nigerian, and then because we ask you like, this is the thing they've gained about, maybe some people might say, oh, it's racism, maybe not, but some of it, they ask you, oh, where are you from originally? So when you hear where are you from originally, so that means they're telling you, oh, you are not part of us here, so but you're from Africa. So but anyway, so when you say I said I'm a Nigerian, and he straight away he was just telling me about Fela Anikulapo. Do you know Fela?
Yes. That's
The musician, so the great musician. It was like, oh, Fela, that he really has a lot of records about Fela. And so for him, that's what he just can relate with. Why some other people might just relate with football. They might say, oh, there are a lot of great Nigerian football players. Why some will be saying that, oh, Nigeria, is that Boko Haram? I met someone recently as well who told me about, oh, is there like, they know the way to say it a little bit nice, to not make it to sound bad. Or like, oh, it seems like the northern, which part of the Nigeria are you from? I say, oh, the southwest. Oh, okay. It's like there is some trouble in the north. I say, yes. Are you talking about Boko Haram? Yeah. So, and then there can be people that talk about, maybe fraud. So yeah, it just depends on who you meet, who asks you. So I've really had a lot of variety of those.
Okay. So I know you talked about schooling as well over there in the UK. So knowing that you are a Nigerian, did it in any way open doors for you?
I'm not sure whether that really make any difference. So because it's and as I said, UK, it kind of like there are a lot of opportunities. So, and I think it's just one of those places whereby your talent and what you can do is kind of like supersede where you're from. I think it also supersedes your skin color as well, even though there can be racism, let's not say they are his, but sometimes when you have the skills and that skills meet up with the requirement of the job or the opportunity available, it doesn't really matter where you're from. So, but yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting to know. Okay. Now, I know you talked about that there are other nationalities also living in the UK. Okay. But now let's talk about the city you live in. Okay. So how diverse, okay, is the population in your city? And also, what are the customs like?
Okay, so the first city I lived in, which is Northampton, where my sister is, it's very diverse. There are a lot of Nigerians there, and which is yeah. So when you can literally see a lot of Nigerian and a lot of Nigerian churches and even like mosque and all of that. So, but where I live in myself, it's not that diverse. I think it's about between 2 and 3% black. And then when I say black as well, that black isn't just only people from Nigeria, it could be anywhere from Africa, it could be Caribbeans. Yeah, so which kind of like, yeah, so it's not that, but we still do have like a Nigeria community, so where we kind of like we meet up like once in a month. And yeah, so, but yes, we tend to kind of like relate with ourselves. And organize maybe summer meetup and all of that, barbecue. Yeah.
Okay. So like in the city where you live, okay, is there like any notable customs that you like to talk about?
Custom. I don't think there is anything really special other than the normal thing. People just go about their business or their day, and where maybe some events like Christmas period where people do have the Christmas meal at home, and then there usually would be some event, they have the lights on. And yeah, so yeah, generally there isn't really any custom, but I don't know whether this is to be called custom, but they do have a variety of events, like the horse racing literature festival. They call it festival, and there are a number of them. There's the jazz festival, literature festival, science festival. I usually love the science and the literature one for my kids, so kind of like get them inspired. Yeah, so I don't know whether that is whether that can be categorized as a custom, because they have it every year, once in a year, each of those events. Yeah.
Okay, I think that can also serve as a custom. Okay, just like down here, we also have our customs. We have the Young Festival. We have the other ones also that happen in Elisha, something like that as well. Yeah. So let me also, have you talk about this, since you just talked about the events. Okay. So like, what are some of those tourist centers or attractions or even events that you ask people to look out for when they visit the UK or your city in particular?
Okay, yeah. So that's it depends on which part of UK you're going. But most people kind of like maybe land in London or go to London. Yeah. So in London there are a number of activities and events like the Notting Hill Carnival. So which is like a Afro-Caribbean. This is a very massive. I haven't been to it myself, but it's kind of like a massive. I just see it on TV because I don't live in London. So yeah, so it's a massive event that go on in London. So depending on the time somebody is around, whether it's the period, and then also they do have the London tour bus. So which can really be a very interesting one as well. So because you get on the open bus, especially in the summer, where they go drive around and then they kind of like narrate and tell you about various areas in the UK. And then of course the UK is really big in terms of like the monarch, the Queen. So it's one of those few places in Europe that still cherish their monarch. So the Buckingham Palace, it's kind of like an area that a lot of tourists go. And for people that love sport, Like myself, I do watch a lot of Premier League, so there can be, you can go and watch a Premier League game, and yeah, so they do have a lot of sporting event. And where I live, actually, there's horse racing, kind of like a festival they do annually as well. It's really very big. It's one of the biggest in the UK. So which the Queen, sometime, well, not all the time, once in a while the Queen comes there. So it's kind of like a big, so yeah, so it's just depend on the area of interest. Yeah, so which people that come around. So there are, I'm sure there are a lot of other things that I've mentioned. There can be a music event as well. So like there's the Glastonbury, so which is like a very big, massive music event as well. I think there have been some of our Nigerian artists that have been there in the past. I think even Fela has featured there before during his lifetime, or maybe Sunny Ade. So yeah, they do have some of our Black artists that do perform there. Yeah, but a lot of things.
Wow, that's interesting. I know that the Afrobeat is a huge deal over there. Okay, and I'm glad that there are so many tourist attractions and also events that people can as well look out for when they visit the UK. Okay, now let's talk about the food. Okay, I know you talked about, when you were talking about the diverse of the population, you talked about having hangouts or meet up with your fellow countrymen, and then you talked about barbecue. Okay, so how diverse, okay, is the food in the city you live in or in the UK?
Yeah, UK, they are not, the British people well, maybe sorry to tell them, they don't really have the kind of like a food, like, you know, the way, let's say for example in Nigeria, the way we have, you know, all manner variety, wide variety, and especially because of the variety of the ethnicity in Nigeria, which, you know, the Igbo, yourself, you know, Eddie Kaikon, and all manners of, which are really fantastic cuisines. But in the UK, they don't really, they tend to even more like lean on other countries' food. So you can see Italian restaurant, you can see, you know, Mexican restaurant, Japanese restaurant, Chinese restaurant, even Nigerian restaurant. But you hardly see, you don't go anywhere else abroad and see like English restaurant. It's not, it's not really. But having said that, so they do have, this is part of the thing I say again in terms of like integration. They do have something called English breakfast, full English breakfast. So which they have a variety of things, they like a bacon, and like a sausage, which is from pig as well. They have maybe tomatoes and egg, fried egg, and so they have a variety of things in there. So which they call it full English. So sometimes we do go to pub. Sometime on a Saturday as a family, we just go and not cook at home and just go there to have it. So, and then also they do have fish and chips. So which, that's what I said, that they don't really have proper food. Fish and chips. So, and the fish would be like maybe a cod fish, and they have the butter, with the butter. So like you know, the way we fry fish in Nigeria, sometimes we do put flour on it, on the fish before they fry it, or maybe bread crumb or something like that. So with chips. So yeah, so with salt and vinegar. So that's and then they really love their tea. They love tea a lot. So if you go and visit somebody, one of the things we ask you is that, oh, do you like a cup of tea or do you like a drink? So they really love their tea. So yeah, so other than that, so a lot of other countries' food are there as well. So the Italian, like pasta, just macaroni and all of that. So they do have a lot of international food, if you like. So you go to the supermarket, you can see a lot of international food that are in English in the supermarket or in the restaurant, different countries restaurant.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so now which one, okay, would you want everyone to try?
Well, the thing is that most of these food are already in various countries of the world as well. I'm sure, like in Nigeria, there is pasta, there is pizza already.
Yeah.
So there is pasta. All of those are already there. So, but what I we suggest somebody to try is like that full English breakfast. So you can literally get to many of the pubs and that are open in the morning, late morning, afternoon. So you can have full English or even make it at home. Yeah, so I think that is really it's not 100% like, it's not kind of like a healthy, but it's something that is really nice to try it. And then they do have a lot of other things like a pie. So you know the way we have fish pie and meat pie in the US. So there are some other type of pie they have. Some they call it maybe shepherd pie or something like that. So it's kind of like a much bigger than the type of fish and meat pie that we do in Nigeria. So that is yeah. So that is and I do have a roast as well. So roast is literally just like, you know, chicken or lamb or whatever type of meat really. So like on the Sunday, so they will have a roast whereby you roast it in the oven. You can get that, make that yourself or go to the pub, and then we have a lot of vegetable, carrot, and all of that. So that is so. What I would say is that if you are in UK visiting, or whether you come to live as well, it's nice to try a lot of other food, not just only looking for African food to eat.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, now I know now you have a family in the UK. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, what is it like, you know, raising a family in the UK?
Yeah, it can be a bit challenging. So because our own style of raising children is kind of like a bit different from the way they do. So it's just to just know what to do and not what not to do. Say, for example, you don't smack a child. So because if you do, you can literally get into serious trouble because of that. So that is it's a bit challenging. So, but you have to kind of like know a way to just do it in the right way to discipline a child, but not smacking them. And then also yeah. So, but generally, I think it's really because the school system is good. So the school are generally good, but also if you can afford to live in an area where the school is even really maybe outstanding, they have the rating for their school. You have a school that need improvement. You have school that is good or satisfactory, or the one that is outstanding. So if you are able to afford an area where the school they are outstanding, then you're able to get the kids to good school. And then also not just living just the way we do in Nigeria as well, like the way we're raised, not only limiting the knowledge to school, and also taking responsibility to teach the children. Yeah, so, but generally, I would say it's fine. So I think one of the challenging part of it as well is that, you know, like the way we were raised, that you just open the door and you go out and go and play and whatever. So in the UK, usually people tend to, like, you know, be protective of their children and not just let them, if they are still, especially under 10 or not even a teenager, you won't just allow them to just go out on their own. Yeah, so yeah, so that's so, but generally I think there are a lot to do for family as well to take children out. And yeah.
Okay, so let's also talk about the cost of living there. Okay, so can you also talk about the cost of living in the
UK? Cost of living, it's I think it's just has to do with how much income you have, really. So I think people do say it a lot that the cost of living is high. The tax, obviously, there's a tax. So which about I hope I'm right with this. I think maybe roughly about 20%, depending on like average salary. Where there are some lower salary that don't get taxed, but an average salary is about 20% tax. And then there are some higher one up to like 40% or even 50%, but we're talking about people that earn really a lot of money. But generally, I think it's just about what cut your coat according to your clothes, or cut your clothes according to the size or whatever. Yeah. So those are the things to consider really. But generally, I would say somebody that is working, that's earning income, can really live a comfortable life and still have a little bit of money to save actually. So because it's all about the lifestyle choices. So the lifestyle choices, I think that's what really determine cost of living really. So in my own opinion, but the cost of living isn't really that bad. And also I think the major thing as well is that the part of the country, say for example, somebody living in London, accommodation tend to be the major that take a chunk of anybody's income really. So, and if you live in London and then you're paying rent or something, it can really be a lot of money compared to, if I didn't know specifically, but roughly you could be paying like maybe £1,000 as rent in London, while somebody in Newcastle or somewhere outside London might be paying half of that. So that's how much difference it can be. But in terms of other things like food, food is really, you can hit whatever you want really with an average reasonable income. So and then it's just other things that are lifestyle based. Maybe you want to be going to gym or you want to go on holiday. But essential things, so going to a Maslow hierarchy of needs in terms of like the essential things, I think somebody working will be able to reasonably live a good life.
That's interesting. Mr. Adesanya, it has really been an interesting conversation as we talked about what it is like being a Nigerian living in the UK. So as we round things up, okay, so what piece of advice would you give to anyone who is kind of planning to move over to the UK?
I think it's just like somebody coming to the UK for the first time to live, for example, would be, my advice would be to take one step at a time, and also be on the lookout for information that can, because information literally can make or break people in terms of like, getting to know what is happening with the government. Is there any announcement about anything that will impact your life? So not just like going to work without knowing what is happening in the country. And then we are now in the age whereby we're blessed with information is literally in our fingertips, that we have the internet to be able to follow and know what is happening, not getting addicted to news, but I mean to just know what is happening, some information, sometimes government, HMRC, and customs. So that's the UK body that look after tax and a lot of other things, financial, I think, for the country. So knowing what are they saying, and and also just to look out for opportunities where, as I said earlier, you can really become whatever you want to become. There can be some limitation, but with hard work and smart work as well, you can achieve whatever you set out that you want to achieve, and to choose whatever career you want to choose, and then find that information that will help you to get there. So I mean, that's one of the things that I really like about UK as well, that it doesn't matter what age you are, you can, as I am now, if I decide that my brain is good enough to be a medical doctor, if I want to go and look for admission, I can look for what requirement does it need to meet, that do I need to meet, and then work towards it, and I get it and go, and so, but no, not going to be a doctor, I don't have the brain, but but it's just for a laugh. So, but anyway, so like, people that are arriving, I've seen a lot of people that arrive in their late years, and then they are still able to go on to look for, there are some jobs that is easier, career path that is easier than another, but having said that, it's still kind of like whatever career you're passionate about, you can surely achieve it.
Okay. Thank you so much. This has really been so educational to me, and I also believe that those who will be watching as well would have learned a few things or two from this wonderful conversation. Thank you so much. And Mr. Adesanya as well has a YouTube channel called I Am Afrikan, just like
I'm African.
Okay, so I will also leave a link to his channel in the description. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also give us a thumbs up. And until then, I'll see you all.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me. And it's really been a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.